Biggest takeaway from media day specifically, just a lot of optimism around the offensive line. That would be my biggest takeaway from media day. That's Kirk, that's George Barnett, that's the players, and you kind of have to read between the lines on these things. Obviously, George Barnett, I posted the interaction I had with him. I guess this is a good opportunity to plug my channel. I posted that interview on my channel here earlier today. So if you haven't listened to George Barnett, it's about 10 minutes with George Barnett, and he used the term very excited about the room. Um, he likened it to last year kind of being a JV level offensive line room.
JV level?
Well, JV if you're going to compare that to obviously not high. I'm not saying he thinks it's a high school JV level. I'm just saying he's saying this is like a varsity line this year. He thinks he's going to have a varsity line this year, whereas last year was kind of like a JV level line. I know that's kind of a weird illustration,
That's
but
a harsh knock on the offensive line.
well, yeah. I mean, he didn't shy away from admitting that the line has been underperforming, but just how he articulated where he sees this room elevating this year was eye opening, and Kirk was not as positive. He was not like this last year. Kirk did not talk about the offensive line like he's been talking about it. Now, I recorded a podcast with good friend Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com Sunday night, and Tom actually made an interesting comment. And I don't know if this, I'm not saying this is true, and he certainly doesn't know this either. But he says, I've almost been wondering if Kirk is kind of trying to speak this into existence. Because he's been very positive about the O-line behind closed doors, in the public eye. And I hope that's not the case. I doubt it is. My guess is that he does feel positive. And common sense would tell you that this O-line, a lot of these guys are in years 3 and 4 now, that it should be a lot better. So I will say, watching the spring game, if we want to kind of shift attention as it relates to the offensive line to Saturday, when you're there watching every play, and I'm trying to record as much footage as I can and kind of take notes as I'm going. And we were on the other side, fans were on the one side and media got to sit on the other side. So we were able to roam through the stands and kind of follow the action as it went, which was nice. As I'm watching it, I'm just thinking to myself, it's just so hard to read between the lines on these things. And when Tom and I were talking about it after the practice, we kind of said the same thing. It's like every year, and he's been doing it for a lot longer than I have. Every year he's covered the beat, the defense has dominated the offense in these open scrimmages. Even in 2002, when Iowa's offense was really good. So it's just hard to tell. Like, I watched back, and I went back and watched. We actually we basically got footage from almost the entire practice. And if people haven't seen it, go on my channel, From the Hawkeye of the Storm, and I've condensed highlights in there. And I may even release the full condensed series of plays. I mean, it's like almost a half hour in total. But when you watch it back, I watched part of it last night. The O-line did not look very good. I mean, like, there were guys, Brian Allen Jr., that dude is, and I know you have no idea who that is, Mark, and that's fine. That dude looked like, I don't even know, like, again, what does it tell us more about, the offensive line or Brian Allen Jr.? He looked like a man amongst children on Saturday. Second-year defensive end. He was added late in the 22 class, and one of the few guys enrolled early last year. By all accounts, had a good spring, but we didn't see anything from him last year, and they were so deep, and they're going to be deep again this year. But the way he played Saturday, I have a hard time seeing him not playing this fall. And they were down some other guys. Cooper DeJean sat out. Nico Ragaini sat out. Ontario Thompson sat out. Jeff Bowie was out with an injury. Obviously, Aaron Blom wasn't there, and I don't think we're going to probably see him with that betting stuff. And there were some other guys that they're rumored to be involved with the betting that did play, and we're waiting for answers from the NCAA. Kirk is waiting for answers from the NCAA. But I would just say overall from the weekend, the verbiage got me more excited for the O-line. But until I see it in a game, I'm going to remain skeptical. They have more experienced guys. I'm a little bit concerned about Dejon Parker. He's been dealing with some swelling in the knee that he had operated on in the offseason. That's a little concerning because they need him at right tackle. But everybody else seems pretty healthy up there. And they seem really solid at center and at left tackle. We'll just see about the other three spots.